Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Fantastic Four #1. Now, I wasn't going to review this because I know everybody and his dog's reviewing it, but I figure I got to get my 2 cents in here. Normally when I do these videos, I have a little bit of I usually have an action figure or something up relating in some way or fashion to the comic book itself. But I got to tell you, I've never collected regularly Fantastic Four in my 40 years of collecting comic books. Can you believe that? I've never bought more than 2 issues of Fantastic Four in a row, ever, in 40 years. Now, I know that might surprise some people, but the thing is, when I say that I was mostly a DC guy, I actually meant it. But I did collect a lot of Marvel. I got a lot of Marvel comics. But I've never been a fan of the Fantastic Four. Now, full disclosure, I really enjoyed Secret Wars, and I really thought that even though I wasn't a fan of Fantastic Four generally, I have to admit that the way they went out, the way Jonathan Hickman took them out in Secret Wars, I thought it was really cool. I thought that was pretty epic, the fact that they were at the end of Secret Wars, Reed and Sue and the kids were off to the multiverse, exploring the multiverse and having fun, and they were exploring and they were disappearing, and I knew they eventually would come back because this is comic books. But anyways, at the end of the day, I got to be honest, I didn't care because it was always a boring comic book. I tried to get into it one issue, I could never do it. Well, guess what? I picked up Marvel 2-in-1 because I'm a Chip Zdarsky fan, and I really enjoyed it. And I've read all 8 issues of Marvel 2-in-1. And I actually thought that Fantastic Four would be coming back. I really enjoyed Marvel 2-in-1. It seems with The Thing and Johnny Storm on their adventure throughout the multiverse, with The Thing sort of lying to Johnny not to break his heart, lying to him and misleading him and thinking that Sue and Reed were still alive and the kids were still alive. But, they're embarked through the multiverse, their adventures through the multiverse. It seemed like a lot of fun. It's a really great read. And so I was a little surprised to see that Fantastic Four #1 came out so soon, because they haven't found, they're still trapped in another dimension or in another area of they're trapped in another universe as of the end of issue 8 of Marvel 2-in-1. So I'm a little bit surprised that Marvel is pushing out Fantastic Four #1 now. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe some of you guys can enlighten me on this on the comments below. I don't really understand why we're getting Fantastic Four #1 so soon. Primarily because, I got to be honest, just a quick Coles Notes review of Fantastic Four #1. It's okay, I don't mind it. They don't return in this issue, but, it just seems redundant because it seems to repeat a lot of the emotional character arcs that we've already seen done way better in Marvel 2-in-1 in the first 8 issues. And so Dan Slott really isn't doing himself any favors by basically Johnny Storm throws a fit. This comic book is The Thing proposing to his girlfriend Alicia, and Johnny Storm getting all upset because The Thing asks Johnny Storm to be his best man at his wedding, because Alicia says yes to his wedding proposal, his marriage proposal. And then Johnny Storm gets all upset because it should be Reed Richards. It should be Reed that should be The Thing's best man. But we know Reed is dead and that Johnny hasn't accepted it yet. Johnny can't accept the fact that they're dead, except for the fact that he accepted that they were dead at the end of issue 8 of Marvel 2-in-1. And they're supposed to be still trapped in another universe. So I don't understand. This entire premise of this first issue is off. But I guess this is supposed to take place after Marvel 2-in-1. So how many? So Marvel, what gives? Look, I get the fact that for future readers trying to get up on the Fantastic Four, they're not going to be familiar with the previous issue of Marvel 2-in-1, etc., etc. And they got to work this for the trades. And so as a jumping on point for new readers who have never read Marvel 2-in-1, this is fine. I got nothing against this. The art is competent. It's by Sarah Pacelli. Sarah, did I say that right? Sarah Pacelli. Yeah, she's well known for her art, and she's the co-creator of Miles Morales Spider-Man. She's done a lot of great art on Ultimate Spider-Man and Miles Morales. So she's a competent artist. Not a great artist, competent, The art here is serviceable. It's okay. Honestly, I thought it would have been. I would have thought for Fantastic Four coming back. Sarah Pacelli's not an A-lister. She's a B-lister. So I would have thought they would have went with more of an A-list artist. Art is, of course, subjective, but no. Sarah Pacelli's a B-lister. I think objectively she's a B-lister. And I know those are big words, but no. Why are you getting a B-lister artist for this? I don't know. There are so many covers, variant covers. Marvel, you really dropped the ball on this. Again, a serviceable story, very mediocre. They don't even show up in here. Reed and Sue show up in this comic book. Just, everyone accepts they're dead. Literally, after they rehash what we already know, where they go through, they rehash. It's a redundant character arc for Johnny Storm. Not accepting the fact that Sue and Reed are dead. And then coming to terms with the fact that they're dead. And bear in mind, guys, that this takes place. This is a $6 American comic book. So this for Canada here, we're paying like $8 for this comic, and this is we're getting repetitive material here. I gotta tell you, I'm disappointed in it. I mean, it's okay, it's serviceable if I've never read Fantastic Four before and I haven't read Marvel 2-in-1. But for longtime Marvel fans, boy, this is a slap in the face. This is really redundant. The art isn't as good as Marvel 2-in-1. The story is not very good. It's not very revealing. It's a bunch of it rehashes. It's just so pointless. If this should be a triumphant, fantastic return. The first time that we see Sue and Reed and the kids should be epic. But what is it? In this comic, it literally, all of a sudden, out of the blue, it shows Reed Richards talking to his wife, Sue, while he's trying to repair some sort of gadget, saying, is this really going to work? And she says, one question, do you believe in me? And she says, always. And Reed says, and that is why I can do the impossible. Oh, that's wonderful. And that's the first time we see them. But it's also a horrible way to do it. It's disappointing. They just appear out of the blue. No explanation. It's not an epic scene. This goes back to, I'm going to bring up something that Dan Didio said when he was commenting about Infinity War, about how that movie does comics better than comics do comics now. This is a prime example of how disappointing comic books have become. The Fantastic Four have been missing for how many years now? 2 years, 3 years? And this is how you're bringing them back? In this horrible, underwhelming story. The first time we see Reed and Sue, Reed's working on some gadget, and that's the first scene. I mean, what happened? Even in the advertising leading up to this, we had them in the silhouette with them walking up. I mean, have an epic scene. Like, think about it in terms of a movie. You're competing with movies and video games, and you come up with a shit story like this. Like, Marvel, you gotta think bigger, man. Dan, what is wrong with you? You've lost it. Anyways, I'm not getting issue 2. I'm stopping Marvel 2-in-1. I'm done at issue 8. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna continue to collect Marvel 2-in-1. Why? Why would I want to continue to collect something that's pointless? It's not going anywhere. Sorry, Chip, but Dan Slott's writing ruined it for me, and I got no interest in this. This is horrible. And by the way, I randomly let the retailer pick a comic book cover for me, because I don't give a crap about the covers, the art term covers. They're all valueless, worthless. Guys, don't waste your money on it, please. Mind you, I should say, if you can suck idiots in to pay more than $5, I'm sorry, more than $5.99 US on the cover price. I mean, I got sucked in by paying the regular cover price Canadian. But boy, if I could get my money back. If anybody wants the digital code on this, hook me up, whatever. This isn't worth it. This is mediocre art. This is a subpar story. This is a disappointment. Skip this issue. And in keeping with my 40 years of tradition, I won't be getting 2 issues of Fantastic Four in a row. Woohoo! Who knew? Right? in any event, and by the way, I think Dan Slott's a good writer. I do. I enjoyed his Amazing Spider-Man. I thought he was okay on that for the most part, and I loved his Silver Surfer. But this is really, really bad for an opening issue. To get to whetting the appetites for Fantastic Four. You had that with Marvel 2-in-1, and you have this horrible, badly written, underwhelming issue of Fantastic. What is going on? This is supposed to hit it out of the park, and instead it just decimates it and disappoints to no end. So, wow, I gotta say, you know, I'm definitely not going to be is it any wonder I don't have an action figure of any member of the Fantastic Four, or even anything in my background? You know, maybe the closest thing I got to Fantastic Four is maybe a Thanos fist. I got the Hulk over there. He made an appearance in the Fantastic Four once, but this is something. Even the logo, you know, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Actually, the logo is probably the best part of the cover, to be honest. This cover is the Ramos cover, which is, I let the retailer pick it. I don't know who the characters are on here. I don't know who this is. I don't know who that is. You know, again, you know, in terms of marketing, you know, as a comic collector, it doesn't matter what cover you get. And I don't care what any speculator can tell you. I laugh at them. But in any event, I don't know who these characters are. It just doesn't matter. The simple fact of the matter is if you want to get people to buy the comic, you want to have the cover reflect what's on the inside of the cover. And I don't know, does any single cover, do any of the variant covers, do any of the covers at all relate to what's in the interior? The regular cover doesn't. None of the variants one that I could tell relate to what's actually in the contents of the comic book. That is shameful. And this goes into the problem that the big two have. For the most part, they're hit and miss, but Marvel, shame on you for not having a cover that accurately reflects in some capacity what is in the content of the comic book. Guys, this is not the return of the Fantastic Four. They do not return. They do not return. And if they're that stupid that they can't get it right on the first issue after 3 years of absence, I'm not coming back for the second. And I'm done collecting Marvel 2-in-1, and I'm done with Fantastic Four. I give this, story-wise, I will give this a 5 out of 10 because it's serviceable. If you just wanted them back, well, I guess they're going to be back. We already can tell because they're still on stranded elsewhere. It's probably going to be 6 issues before they're actually back. So guys, don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. Leave it alone. Just wait for the, just read the reviews because there's lots of people out there on YouTube that will review it. Don't waste your time and money picking this up. Really, you don't. Wait for the trade. It'll probably be cheaper. It should be cheaper. We deserve better than this. And wow. As someone like me who doesn't collect Marvel and I picked this up, I am so underwhelmed. Marvel, shame on you, Dan. You really did a bad job on this. Sorry, I gotta call it like I sees it. This sucks. Overall. Guys, sorry to say that, but until next time, Comic Boom out.